Please.
Try to get this one in the King James if I can.
Yeah,
All right.
That's what's up.
All right, so let's count all these number of bags real quick. All right, so here we go. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of scornful.
Yes,
But his
yes.
delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his
Todaya.
law doth he meditate day and night. He
Todaya.
shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that
Yes.
bringeth forth his fruit in his season.
Yes.
His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The
Yes.
ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away.
Yeah.
Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment,
Yeah.
nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous.
Yeah.
For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Amen, amen, amen.
Hallelujah, man. Yes, yes. Hallelujah.
Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For Yahweh is with me. His rod and his staff, they both comfort me. Hallelujah. Straight out of Babylon, out of Dodge, like Sarah and Abraham. The only question I have is how much baggage to pack. Even if we have to leave with just the clothes on our back. Loins girded, shoes tight, don't forget my staff. My family, are you with me? Where you at? No time to laugh, or just let's be catch you. Who stay on the righteous path, straighten up right like Marine with the high and tight. But I rock a beer with locks, sipping on Ruaka water from the rock. Pack two swords, like Popo like to pack the Glock. Don't have much time, nor a Rolex watch. I keep these scripts in my pocket like pass. I like to keep a knot. But lights in the midst of darkness, wilderness. No place for the fearful and heartless. Neither for the contrite less and those that like mess. The narrow way only for the few that find it. Let me take a moment to plead with you. Encourage you, come out of her, my people. Babylon so wicked they're see-through. Evil devices designed to deceive you.
Mambo, my name is Jaden and I'm 15 years old. One thing I'm looking forward to about living in Tanzania is learning the language Swahili and being surrounded by people who also speak the language. One thing I'm going to miss about America is being closer to family.
Hi, my name is Janelle. I'm 12 years old, and one thing I'm looking forward to about Tanzania is trying more new foods. I've already tried pilau and ugali, and I really like it. One thing I'm going to miss about America is our old house. I really liked the location that it was in, and I'm going to miss our old farmer's market.
Hello, my name is Joanne. I'm 9 years old, and what I'm looking forward to in Tanzania is the food. Now, I've tried some of the foods, and so far my favorite is the beef samosas. I like the texture and the flavor is nice to me. What I miss in America is the stores and the restaurants we used to go to, such as Target, Publix, and Jamaican Blues.
Um, while packing, there were a few nights where sometimes it would be me and both of my parents, sometimes it was just both of my parents, where we would stay up pretty late, just organizing everything, making sure all the bags are within the weight limit. Um, the hardest part was definitely getting rid of things that we tried to tell ourselves could go, but no matter how hard or no matter how we tried to fit it in, it just couldn't go, and we had to get rid of a bunch of stuff. But other than that, it was smooth sailing. Nothing.
For me, I didn't really per se have to get rid of a lot of my things because I tried to find a way to stuff it in parts of suitcases and stuff. But I could tell with my parents, like stuff they wanted to keep, but like they had to get rid of, either sell it, give it away, or throw it away. But for me, like my mom said, you guys might have to like get rid of your stuffed animals or plushies, and I didn't want to, so I tried to find a way to pack it, and they came, so that's good.
Packing is pretty nice because usually I would go to bed early, so I don't do as much packing as everyone else. But yeah, my mom came in our room and she told us that we're gonna have to be giving our stuff away. That didn't really like strike me as much until she started talking about our stuffed animals. That struck me, and I had all the other ones packed away, but I had one that was pretty big, and I didn't know where to put it. But surprisingly, we had an extra bag, so like all the stuff that we wanted to have that couldn't fit in our other suitcases, we could put it there. So I was able to bring it, and I was so relieved because I did not want to give away not one plushie that I had. I just did not want to give it away.
When I got to the airport, I saw pretty much everything I had expected to see. Like people walking around with their bags, standing in line to turn in their heavier bags, their non carry ons. What I wasn't expecting was how quickly we got through check in because I had heard stories about how people would get held up over the most trivial things, but for us, we went through very smoothly.
When we got to the airport, when we got there before we went inside, it looks like your average airport from like what I've seen people go to. And when we got inside, I expected it to look bigger, I guess. I don't know. It just felt smaller. And I thought it would be like less stressful because it looked like there are very little people. But then again, I had to remember we were very early. So we got in line to get our bags checked in. And that's when the people started coming and it started to get like crowded. We were able to get our bags. I wouldn't say it was stressful. It was pretty straightforward and easy. Once we got our bags through, it was good. And I didn't really like expect anything else to go wrong, I guess.
So when we got there, I was also expecting it to be pretty big because from the outside it looked massive. And when we went inside, I had expected it to be a whole lot bigger as well. And then I realized that we were just in the check-in and there was a whole lot more. And I also thought that we're actually going to Africa because it felt so unreal, like I was dreaming because it's been a really long time to actually make it here. So the fact that we're actually here, it's exciting.
So when we finally got on the plane, the flight was 13 hours, but to me it didn't feel like 13 hours. I'm guessing because I was asleep because the flight was at night. I also didn't expect us to have a seat in the middle. There's like 3 rows, 1, 2, and 3. I expected us to get like a window seat, but we got it in the middle, which was nice. I also didn't expect, I expected my ears, like when they popped, I expected it to hurt because I've never really been on a plane before, but it didn't, so that's good.
Janelle said that turbulence would be shaky and it would be scary, but ours was pretty smooth sailing. We had multiple turbulence, we had at least 2, and they were both not as bad as Janelle, the way Janelle said it, so that was nice.
When we first got off the plane and began walking to our gate, it was very enjoyable. I enjoyed the walk there and doing a bit of window shopping. The airport felt almost like a mall. We passed by a bunch of stores that we took a look at on our way tour gate, but once we got there, it was mostly just sitting there for 15 hours. On the bright side, we did find this vegan restaurant. I forget what the name is, but they were proud of how their entire menu was entirely vegan, which was nice to see.
3 words: cold, boring, and difficult. So when we got to the airport and we walked over to our gate, walking there, there was a lot of designer shops that I didn't expect to see. Um, like they basically had the airport in sections: the upper class and lower class. Um, but it's fine. We found our gate and sat down. The spot we were sitting was, like Jaden said, right next to an air conditioning, so it was very, very cold the whole time. But that's okay. We found a restaurant, we ate, and just waited for the whole 15 hours. It was hard to sleep because we're in a chair. And I didn't expect to see all the nationalities or all the people with different nationalities walking by.
So going to our gate, that was pretty straightforward. I basically slept the whole time because, and it didn't also feel like 15 hours because that's probably because I slept the entire time.
Boarding the plane, so the plane wasn't right next to the building, so we had to take a shuttle bus. And to my memory, though, it was the first time I had ever taken a shuttle bus, so I enjoyed actually being able to stand up and hang on to the handle. That was a new experience for me. And when we got to the plane, instead of having that tube that you would walk through to get from the building to the plane, they had a staircase that we walked up instead, and that was something I wasn't expecting. But other than that, it was pretty much the same as the first time.
That was my first time being on a shuttle. Multiple times I kept almost falling, but I caught myself. I didn't fall. This time I did get a window seat, and I enjoyed that, even though I did sleep most of the plane ride. But that's okay.
So getting on the plane and walking, it's like the airport, the second airport, it felt super modern. Nothing that you would find in America. It was very fancy looking. I haven't been on a shuttle bus before, so that was a nice experience. Also, it was very hot. But once we walked up the stairs into the plane, there was air conditioning, and I felt a whole lot better because it was super hot.
When we first landed in Tanzania, we went to go wait for our bags to come off the plane and to reach us. And though it took a little while, we eventually found all of our bags with no problems. But when we went to customs for them to check our bags one last time, they found our dad's camera equipment and his music equipment, and we had to wait a while for them to check to make sure, I guess, that we weren't trying to sell the equipment. But eventually we got through that, and the porters came in and helped us load our bags into the two vans we had rented. And I had slept through most of the ride from the airport to the hotel. I wasn't expecting the hotel to be a resort. I was expecting it to be just a building with a bunch of rooms in it that we would be staying in. I enjoyed the food throughout the week we stayed there, and we had a fun time.
Once we got off the second plane, our last flight, we finally made it to baggage claim, and I was reading all the signs. All of them were in Swahili, so I was practicing all the words while I waited. We were waiting for our bags to come through because it was taking a little while. It was kind of annoying, and I was tired. But our bags finally started to come through, and we started taking them. They were coming in really fast.
So, to be honest, the entire thing was boring. I was very confused how long it took, and I really was just so bored. I didn't know what to do. So I just took a nap, and to be honest, it was actually very comfortable. Although I was on a metal bar. But Janelle, she woke me up and said that it was time to go, and then I was super relieved. I was also worried about the Uber because I didn't know what Uber we were gonna take afterwards, but we got one. And I was super tired, but once we finally got to the hotel, I was so excited to just lay in the bed and just rest for a little bit. And the restaurant was really nice, and that was actually when I first tried a beef samosa. And the pool was also really nice. We went because we've tried to go in it, and it was also very nice. And the fact that it was cold, it made it a whole lot better because it was very hot. Because usually when you're in a pool, when it's cold, it won't feel good, but it actually felt refreshing for that. I was also expecting it to be like those normal hotels, just a massive building, but it was a huge resort. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, pole pole.
Step after step, keep the pace up. Chewing these scripts, meditate, get my weight up. The journey long, the climb is high.
Oh, hi, Dad.
So high that we gon' kiss the sky.
Whoa.
We're coming up on the rough side. Not gonna give up, even if this costs me my life. The ancient path, not for the weak, but we can build you up. Hachatan, all he wanna do is tear you up. Barney Rubble won't give up until we all stumble. Cause us to stumble with snake talk and move subtle. But God's grace is sufficient if we continue in them. Holla out like broken record that keeps spinning. Round